morning, everybody. Pastor Mike here again, and you might remember that we have been on this one big healthy year since the school year started. Right now, we're talking about healthy love, and last week and now this week, we're talking about agape love, which is this perfect sacrificial love that Jesus models for us, especially during Holy Week and as we approach Maundy, Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Sunday. Last week, it's so important to remember that one of the things that we began with is that sacrificial love starts with not obedience, but it starts with this idea of limitless love, that we can love like Jesus so much that it's limitless. And that brings us to today, and today I'm blessed to be with Eric Moorman, and some great stories about his family. And when we talk about sacrificial love and what that means in its truest sense, I wanted to invite Eric to come. Eric, welcome.
Hello.
And you were in the Armed Forces.
I was in the Marine Corps 6 years.
6 years in the Marine Corps.
In the Gulf War.
In the Gulf War. And were you stationed overseas?
I was in Japan, my first duty station. I had just gotten married after boot camp and went to military police school in Texas, and then I got orders to Okinawa, Japan, my first year.
Wow.
So I was a newlywed, and I left my wife back here.
And how long were you apart?
She came to visit me within 6 months for 3 weeks, and then she came back home, so a year.
So, wow, incredible. And then when you came back, what'd you do?
Des Moines police officer, 30 years.
And that was a desk job 9 to 5, right?
No. Nope. I worked midnights for 5 years. Then I got lucky and I got a job in the chief of police office as a project manager for 7 years. Then I went back to traffic unit for fatality reconstruction. Then I went to day patrol.
Wow. So there's really multiple aspects here, but one of those aspects is that while you and your family made a decision to sacrifice, you also witnessed sacrifice in a lot of different ways in a lot of different places, really around the world.
Right, yeah.
So tell me how that conversation went with Cindy, your wife. Did you enlist? Did you get drafted?
I enlisted. I went down, and I wanted to be a police officer, but I knew I wanted to finish my bachelor's degree and get some real experience at the same time. So I picked the toughest military branch, and she was not too happy at first.
When you did that, because you were young.
I was young. I was 21.
Did it connect with you guys that this means you're going to be apart for a while?
Yes.
And you made that decision anyway.
Right.
What went into that?
We figured the sacrifice was worth it so I could get my bachelor's degree and experience and then have that on my resume. It would be easier for me to get hired when I got out, which it was. I was number one out of 1,800 people because of that.
So, and what did you do in Okinawa?
I was military police.
Yeah.
Base patrol and helicopters. And this has been way before cell phones, computers, so I could only call home once a month, collect. And it was like $1 or something a minute. So how she would send me those little mini cassette tapes in the mail. So we would have our conversations and I would send them back, so back and forth. And so we'd listen to the little mini cassette players. What's going on? What am I doing? What's she doing back home?
That's, when we think about today and how our lives are so, especially with cell phones and computers, so instant. We do everything instantly.
Right.
I can't imagine recording something, sending it home, and it took how long? A couple weeks?
A couple weeks to get back and forth.
Yeah. Wow. That is such a commitment. And then when you're over there, especially in the MP world,
right,
you really saw how sacrifice affected other people.
right? We went on domestic calls and robbery calls and a couple homicides, and I mean we're the police, law enforcement of the base.
Yeah. Then you come back, and you're in the Des Moines Police Department.
Right.
What kind of how did that sacrifice? How was that sacrifice different than the armed forces sacrifice, and how was it similar?
Well, it's similar because it's paramilitary, and that's a lot of reasons why us military guys like law enforcement, because it's paramilitary, the rank structure, the way the dynamics are set up. You have a mission. You have a lot of training with weapons, and so you're already in that mindset. So I worked midnights in the Des Moines Police Department, which I wanted that because so my wife could she was going to school to be a nurse, so I would come home in the morning, get the kids off to school, and then she would go to school, and I would go back to bed, and I'd get up and go work an overtime extra job for extra money.
You're, you know, from the outside, I don't know if you can see this, but a whole life built on sacrifice. You've got the military, you've got the police department, you got your family. And it hasn't really stopped for you guys.
No.
I mean, when you think about it, you do some really excellent work with our veterans organizations and veterans PSTD and some things like that. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm a volunteer driver for the VA for veterans in Warren County for their doctor's appointments. I'm also the VFW post commander in West Des Moines. I started a veterans nonprofit C3 called Veterans of Valley Junction. I'm in the Marine Corps League in Des Moines. I volunteer there.
You're a mentor at Carlisle United Methodist, or Carlisle through
Kids,
Carlisle Methodist
Kids Hope.
Church and Kids Hope at the school district
Yep,
for an elementary student.
Yep, last 3 years.
Yeah, and I think for everybody watching this, I want to talk about for a minute what really true sacrifice looks like. The kid that you mentor in there, how old is he?
He's 10.
He's 10. And at Kids Hope 25th anniversary celebration, you learned to play some basic guitar, and you and your mentee got up and sang at church.
Right, yep. He talked me into that. He wanted it. He's all about music, which is good. That helps people's, mind and helps them feel good. And there's a lot of therapy behind that. So
for me, that would be the ultimate sacrifice right there. I don't think I could do that part of it. But then, Cindy couldn't be with us this morning, but school nurse,
27 years,
mentor, and her mother started the ABC Wildcat Before and After School program at Carlisle United Methodist Church 30 years ago.
Yep.
And that, Cindy, if she was with us right now, she would tell us some interesting stories about the commitment that her mother made and how that affected her family.
Right. Because, Wanda had a pretty nice life. She didn't have to do this, but she decided that's a mission and help the church out and get some revenue. And so she had to go back and get some college classes, and she had to go do all the inspections and all that kind of stuff with the state of Iowa. So she had to get all the regulations set up, and so she did a lot of groundwork.
What's the thought process when you guys sit down and you make a decision to sacrifice?
Is it going to help make somebody's life better? Is it going to make their life easier? Do we have the time to do it? So we pick and choose the ones that are going to impact the most. There's a lot of smaller volunteer things, but I'm I like to have the more impactful.
Mm-hmm.
For a year, I was the equine therapist out at Jester Park for the veterans program, and I took it from 3 veterans a week till 40.
Yeah.
And I built an outside trail, and that was a mission. But I'm not there anymore because I got my mission done. So,
but there is this intentional recognition that there's something more important than your time, that the outcome that can be derived from this is so important that it'll change lives.
it makes me feel good. It makes you feel good to help other people. And I've been helping other people as a police officer. I had a lot of counseling sessions. I had people that would confess things to me. They thought I was their priest. I mean, I had all kinds of, I delivered a baby.
Really?
I had one named after me, the one that I helped deliver. I mean, so yeah, and I had saved a lot of people from suicide that were trying to commit suicide, but they really didn't want to, but they didn't know how to get out of it. So I got them help. I got a Christmas card from a lady that I helped not commit suicide for 5 years in a row.
Wow. But I also heard you say that you do have to choose.
You do?
I think what I'm hearing you say is sometimes you have to say no to good things so that you can say yes to the best things. Is that right?
That's correct.
How does, one of the things I think really I find captivating about you and Cindy is a lot of people look at volunteering, at sacrifice, as, well, I'm doing all of this for my family, which is good, noble, fine. But you guys do this for others outside your family.
Right.
I'm not sure that when you volunteer all your time and you help these people out, because you guys are busy.
Right.
What's in it for you?
Personal self-satisfaction that you're helping get people's lives better. You're helping them get on the right road. That they might have made some bad choices in the past, but now they can right the wrong, and that's what God says. You can repent and you can find the path to goodness, and that's what we're trying to do.
This is such an important thing for you that you're starting a new podcast.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
It's called Faith, Fire, and Fellowship. It's going to be geared towards the combat military veterans to deal with PTSD, anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, and how to deal with being a civilian after being in the military, finding their identity, using the Warrior Bible.
Yeah. So faith definitely does it motivate you? Does it strengthen you? What role does faith play in this?
It strengthens me and motivates me and makes me do a lot of deep thinking. And this has only come about for me probably in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Faith it's been a great journey for you guys and for you specifically. If you were going to talk to 21-year-old Eric again, look forward. You're going to do 6 years of military. You're going to do how many years in the police department?
30.
30 years in the police department, mentor, all of those things. What would you tell 21-year-old Eric about this journey?
To enjoy life, maybe, and don't work so hard, so many overtime jobs. Because I was working a night shift. I was a Little League president and a softball president and a coach, besides working overtime all the time. But, it's what you do.
I'm going to encourage you as you begin discussion at this small group to stop for a minute. Think about your own life. Think about the way that Jesus sacrificed for each of us. And then try to map out where you see yourself sacrificing and how you see yourself spending your time today. And at the end of that, we think about the quality of life that Eric and his wife Cindy have enjoyed through this life of sacrifice. And maybe, if you feel like you're needing something or you're wanting something, maybe what you're looking for is an opportunity to help others. Just the same way that Jesus called us to love him and to love our neighbors. So take a minute, have some great discussion. Eric, thank you so much for being with us today. And I want to thank you all for being on this journey with us. One big happy year and especially healthy love. Have a great discussion and a great Easter season. May God bless you all.